You're watching SCAC Softball Media Days, and joining us today from Sherman, Texas, it is the Austin College softball team, head coach Andrea Vangoss, and sophomore pitcher Sophia Hernandez. And first of all, we'd like to thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Coach Vangoss, we'll start with you. You enter your second season here with the Roos. Just share with us just kind of the expectations and goals going from your first season into your second season.
Well, the expectations are very high, just because these girls have played for me. This is their second year playing for me, and we do have a core group coming back. We do have really great leadership coming back as well. Two seniors, Taylor Steelman and Valerie Grossman, are our captains, and also Sophia Hernandez is a captain as well. And they did a really good job with the freshmen coming in about just what expectations I had coming into this season.
Coach, take me through preseason so far as you get ready to open the year here very soon. What have you seen so far from this group of girls throughout the preseason?
I think the biggest thing that I've seen was dedication. From our 6 a.m. workouts in the fall, we had 2-a-days, so we had 6 a.m. conditioning practice, and then we had 4:30 practice at night. So it's very tough for a student athlete in that circumstance, but the girls are very dedicated, and every single one of them came to that morning practice, and that is the biggest thing I've seen from them.
Sophia, I'll turn to you. One unique thing you see on the Austin College Roos is that your twin sister plays with you. You being a pitcher on the team, she is also a catcher on the team. Just share with me what's that like to be able to play with your sister at a very high collegiate level. Share with us that kind of experience.
I mean, since we were little, we've always been close, and she's my biggest competition and my biggest motivator. So it's really nice to have her as someone who I can compete against at a high level, and someone who can just help me out on the way and know every single thing that I do wrong or right. She can be there to criticize me, and she's just the best person that I can have there by my side.
Does Coach Vangoss struggle telling you two apart?
Every day.
Coach, we'll turn.
She's so good this year. Last year, I was calling Sophia Brianna when she was on the mound, and I know Sophia's a pitcher, and so last year was a struggle. This year is a little bit better.
Coach, we'll come back to you. You mentioned a little bit about your senior class, two of your captains on the team. Just how important will this senior class be for Austin College to be successful this season?
Valerie Grossman is an all-SCAC player. Taylor Steelman's an all-SCAC player. They're going to be really potential athletes for us. They're going to have those big roles that are going to be, stepping up in the lineup. And also on the field, Taylor Steelman's going to be center field. Valerie Grossman's going to, switch from third base to catching. Mallory has probably the meanest girl that you can think of, but the toughest girl, on just in playing softball. She just has that instinct of, she is not your best friend if you're an opponent. And that's what I really like about her. Taylor Steelman is, she's really great in center field, just from being a leader and telling what position that the outfield needs to be. So she's a really big help for me as well.
Sophia, I'll turn to you. As your coach talks about two of your captains, you also named a captain this year. Just tell me how big it is, even though you are only a sophomore, how big is it for you to emerge as a leader among this team, especially being one of the captains?
It really sets up a nice balance, because the seniors are great captains, but having a sophomore captain is good for the freshmen to see they can emerge into that leadership role, even though they're only going to be sophomores or freshmen or whatever year they might be. But it's really nice to just be a leader for the older people and show them that the younger kids can just be leaders to them and just be spunky and everything. You don't have to be the oldest one to be a captain. You just got to show people how it's done and just be a role model to everybody.
You're watching SCAC Softball Media Days here with the Austin College Roos. Head coach Andrea Vangoss and sophomore pitcher Sophia Hernandez joining us this morning. And Coach Vangoss, I'll turn to you, Sophia, as we look through the Austin College team this year. You being one of the pitchers coming back, tell me so far what you've seen from the pitchers and catchers this spring.
The biggest thing with pitchers and catchers is the endurance that we have, because we don't have a lot of pitchers or a lot of catchers, and so we're stacked with endurance, and we have to know how to keep on going and pushing ourselves and not get tired. Like the other team might get tired and just switch out pitchers. We have to know how to reserve our, energy and really push through. So that's good. And having clicks with the pitchers know the catchers, just like the catchers know the pitchers. If the pitchers are doing something wrong, the catchers know exactly what it is, and they can tell everybody. Rather than just knowing their job, we know each other's jobs.
Coach, I'll turn back to you as we move into the infield. Tell me so far what you've seen from this team's infield.
Well, it's hard to believe that our infield is going to consist of sophomores and freshmen, but I think we're going to have a really solid infield. Our middles are going to be 2 freshmen that are going to be in that spot. So it's definitely it's going to be tough at first, but I think in the long run it'll be really good, just with working together and playing more games. So I think our infield is going to be very great in the future.
Finally, we move into the outfield, Coach. You mentioned a couple of the returners. Tell me a little bit about this outfield.
We also have Rachel Ramos. She kind of battled with some injuries this year, but I think she's coming back strong. So hopefully, we'll definitely have her by this weekend when we start playing. But I think with our outfield, it's going to be pretty. They do push themselves and they have a pretty good click out there. But I think just with Taylor being the center fielder, she's going to really help them out just from what position to play and what kind of role that I want them to be in during that situation with defense.
Finally, we'll get you both out on this final question. Sophia, we'll get you to answer this question first, and then Coach Vangoss will get you to answer second and give any other last words for this interview. For Austin College to be successful in 2014, what are going to be some of the keys to success?
I think just staying on top of things. Communication is a huge role, just among players, teachers, because we need to know when we're winning games, or teachers, coaches. We got to be on the same page with everybody. I just think, communication is the biggest thing, just to talk to everybody and know each other.
I think it's definitely good to say communication, just because, I think that is the key to softball and being a part of a team is communication. I think, if everyone is on the same page, you're going to get, successful results. And I think that we're doing a great job with that. The captains have, even Sophia, have brought a lot of stuff back last year, just what kind of expectations I want from practice and games. And, they've done a great job with that. But I think communication is definitely a great one. So I would have to agree with Sophia.
You have been watching SCAC Softball Media Days here with the Austin College softball team. Head coach Andrea Vangoss and sophomore pitcher Sophia Hernandez. Ladies, we thank you so much for joining us today and taking the time out to discuss the upcoming season. And we wish you good luck in the upcoming season.
James, thank you.
Athletic Conference, a conference of good sports.